What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Bookmaker Review Basketball Show, more specifically the NBA show. And the reason I call y'all beautiful people is because y'all here with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're choosing to be here with us, and we appreciate y'all. I got my guy Jordan Sharp. I got my guy Jay Money, always coming through with the fire picks. I'm going to throw it over to my guys and let them give you a little recap. Jordan, how did yesterday treat you?
Yeah, nothing official for me yesterday, but very much remorseful that I did not jump on the Grizzlies because Dylan Brooks being out scared me off. When I saw that news right before 7 o'clock, I said, nope, it's not going to be me tonight. I told you guys I was kind of leaning that direction, and sure enough, the Beale Street crowd did not disappoint last night. I mean, there were times at the end of that third quarter where there was a sequence where there was a couple blocks, like some jump balls, a lot of hustle plays. I mean, you could tell the Lakers had all but given up at that point of the game. And we're looking ahead to tonight against Oklahoma City, as someone noted yesterday. So yeah, nothing for me yesterday. Excited to break this one down though, because I do have a couple officials for today. But yeah, that's the one that I know I missed out on, as well as everybody was smarter than me, I guess, and jumped on San Antonio last night. Rightfully, that was the other one we kind of talked about as well. But yeah, Junior, I know you cashed that Jazz pick yesterday, but I'll throw it over to Jay. Jay, how'd you end up on Thursday?
Yeah, that was a nice call by Junior with the Jazz over there. I had a few props, win a split in my props, and then I lost with the Lakers. So I don't think they were looking ahead to OKC. They don't really care about playing hard basketball. The Grizzlies just played a lot harder, than simply put. So and they had the crowd rocking. But yeah, no, the Grizzlies they earned their win, smacked them boys up, and the Lakers, like I say, they're a bunch of old guys out there. They don't care about playing hard. So it is what it is. But Junior, nice play, nice call on that Jazz. My guy.
Yeah, that's one of those few times where it just seems a little bit too obvious. When I was watching the game, I was like, I feel like I'm stealing right now. I was mad at myself I didn't bet more, to be honest with you. But when you get greedy, that's when you get bit in the ass. So just stay focused, try to keep your head above water in this game and continue to cash tickets. It's really all we can do. So with that said, glad to be on another episode with my guys so I can hear their opinions. A perfect example of the opinions is like yesterday when the last take that we had was Memphis is a team that you can't over or underestimate what they're able to do with the pieces that they have. None of these guys are stars. None of these guys are even close to stars. They got one superstar, some pretty good players, and a bunch of role guys, and yet they'll take it to a team like the Lakers, who Jay so perfectly stated. The Lakers make sense on paper. But in reality, it's a lot of egos in that locker room and a lack of hunger from some of these guys because the mask is starting to come off Anthony Davis, and people in La La Land are starting to ask the return on our investment. This Anthony Davis guy, it's one championship, and then all of a sudden that's it. He just can't play basketball no more. So it's kind of weird to watch what's going on in LA. I rewatched that game this morning. The Lakers are in trouble. The Lakers are in trouble. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, but I think we're finally seeing the human version of LeBron. I think he's Clark Kent a lot, almost as often as he's Superman in the regular season. But I won't disrespect him because we know when it comes to playoff time, he might turn into a whole other beast. So that's enough about yesterday. Y'all are here for today's slate. Eduardo, do your thing, my guy. Let's get to today's slate, brother. Oh, I'm in the mood shit right now that I just see these two bum-ass teams come up. So let me just get into it right now. My guys, Jay and Jordan, these are their home teams respectively. Disrespectfully, I'm going to call this the answer to my prayers for my insomnia. This is a basketball game. This is NyQuil disguised as basketball. If you watch Dallas games, it is just awful basketball. In my opinion, it's just me. If some of you guys might like watching it, good for you. I don't want to watch Luka and the Lukettes, especially with Luka doing his best Russell Westbrook impersonation with all these goddamn turnovers. And I don't blame him. He's just being asked to do way too much. The LeBron comparisons make sense because the stats and the age that they're producing these stats match up. But here's the difference. LeBron plays above the rim. So LeBron in certain situations can elevate his team. For example, the old LeBron, when his team gets in trouble, LeBron's like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the basket and get fouled. And there's just nothing you really can do. I'm either going to score, I'm going to get 2 free throws, or I'm going to find one of my guys. Luka still relies on the perimeter game a lot more than LeBron. Someone got to get Luka in the post. I don't want to go on a rant because I can feel it in my gut that I'm about to go on a rant. Dallas got to do something. They got to start making some moves. I don't care. I don't know what it is, but it's unfair. You're basically putting extra mileage on Luka in a situation where you're surrounding him he has like literally one former star and a bunch of role players. Can you guys get him a Robin? Can you get him a wingman? We all need a wingman, for Christ's sake, in our life. No one has needed a wingman as badly as Luka in the last couple of years. And apart from that, when it comes to the Pacers, here's the best thing I can say about the Pacers. TJ McConnell being out is really a detriment to that team. And that sounds crazy to say because TJ McConnell is not like a star or he's not even an important player in some people's minds. But to this Pacers team, when he's on the floor, he puts order to that team. He brings defense. He brings intensity. He gets the crowd hype. He gets his teammates involved. He's just a good professional. And now you take him out of that lineup, which means who's the other point guard on that team? They don't even really have a traditional point guard other than him. So I think overall in this game, the reason I'm on the over 212.5. This steamed down from 214.5. Two teams that don't play defense. The Pacers are significantly better at home. They average like 111.5 points a game at home versus like 104 on the road, if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. Like the splits are huge. The combined score of Pacers home games, 219.1. Combined score of their road games is like 209.1. It's like literally like a 10-point difference between the totals in their road games and their home games. We know Dallas don't play a lick of goddamn defense. As for their offense, they struggle offensively on the road to make shots. But it's not like the Pacers are defensive stalwarts. They're a good defensive team in the front court. But I think the Mavs backcourt could do enough. I think the Pacers get their average of 211, which means all I need is 100 points from the Mavs. I think the Mavs are good for 100. Give me the over. Official is my only play of the day. I've talked way too long, so I'm going to kick it over to my resident Indiana guy. Jordan, what you got for us?
Yeah, this Pacers team, I've been thinking about this spot in the last couple of days because if you just take into account everything that's happened for this team in regards to this team just in the last week alone, it's kind of been a fork in the road point for this team. And so far, they've responded by playing better. Is threatening to trade everybody just the motivation that this team needed to kind of start playing a little bit better? Because on paper, this matchup is a very good one for them. They have, like Junior mentioned, they have team struggles on the road, doesn't play much defense. You have a huge size advantage against this team. And you probably are better defensively in the spot, considering that, like Junior also mentioned, they play better at home. For me, it's Indiana or nothing in this spot. I'm kind of interested in that total. I was a little closer on the first half total on the over, but I laid off because I just think that there's a little bit too much upside in this Indiana Pacers defense at home to if they can kind of single out Luka and make everybody else beat them, they could actually be a pretty good play in the first half here. But I don't trust their defense that much as well. So I think for me, I'm going to stay away, but lean Pacers. It just seems like if they can, this is another kind of one of those test games for them. If they can continue to play better, maybe those trade rumors kind of like subside or maybe just limit a little bit. And one other thing, I completely agree with you about TJ McConnell. I think it's possible that they're shopping LeVert not so much for that they're going to blow it up, it's because they want to get him into the starting lineup and put Brogdon off the ball a little bit more, or at least kind of use those guys as kind of co-ball handlers as well to kind of take some pressure off the other. Because you're right, their offense just flows better, and they get everybody involved when he's in the court. He's not Alex Caruso defensively, but he has that effect off the bench for this team, as Caruso does for the Bulls. And now, now he's out for a while though, so it's hard to trust the Pacers here in this spot. But if I did have to trust either one of these teams, it would absolutely be them over the Mavs right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Pacers been playing a lot better. This is the fifth straight game of a 6-game road trip. So one of my systems, I don't like betting against a team that's been at the house for a while unless they're really terrible at the house. I still lean Mavs here. I know they've been lackluster. They hadn't been able to put together back-to-back wins. That's why I'm not betting them today. But they are 6-1 against the spread, and straight up they are 6-1 against the spread last 7 road games. For whatever reason, they seem to play a lot better on the road here lately. Mavs are still the better squad. I'd like for Carlisle to be coaching this game because I'd like for the Mavs to show them something up here, but they don't even have their head coach here. You're going to have Lloyd Pierce in here. What are we doing here, my guys? And they canceled practice yesterday. No real time to just really get ready for the Mavs here. So could be just one of those games where they just go out there and play basketball. Could translate to a win, but it's Mavs or nothing for me here, my guys.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that other than it's technically a revenge game spot for Rick Carlisle, I suppose, but he has COVID, so he ain't even going to be there. You would assume that he's giving them some form of a blueprint to slow down this Mavs team, although I don't think it's that simple. That this is a new philosophy, a new way of playing, so should be interesting to see how that works out. Like I said, I just expect the Pacers to do what to put out their average output at home, which is 211. Total's 212.5. If the Mavs can get 100 points, I should be good with this total, in my opinion. For those of you that don't agree, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it. So with that in mind, let's move on to the next game. Talking about another bum-ass team. This bum-ass team, the goddamn Raptors, want to be charging people an arm and a leg for tickets but can't win a damn home game. Before I go on another rant, Jay, what you got for us in this game?
Oh, yes, Knicks are nothing for me. Again, I don't want to go against a team that's been at the house for a while, but I still lean Knicks here. Obviously, they've been lackluster as well. They come off getting their butts whooped. I'd still be leaning to the Knicks, but I can't trust them right now. In all honesty, it's a lot of NBA teams I can't trust right now. But if I'm betting this game, if I had a free play, I do think that the Knicks are going to win this game. And I guess with my system, it's not so strong with teams that are not good at the house. The Raptors are 3-10 at the house and 4-9 straight up, and they just come off a loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the coach did call them soft, so we'll see what happens with that, but it's still Knicks or nothing for me. They are the better squad in this one.
Yeah, this is a spot that I wrote up for BMR, so I'll let you guys go ahead and head over there and take a look at it. But in just a quick synopsis, we're 30% through the NBA season, which is kind of crazy to think about. And I got to think that this is the Knicks that we're going to see for most of the year. Their talent and depth is good enough to kind of turn things around defensively. But I just, if we haven't seen it by now, if you combine with the personnel, changes they made, and maybe it's not buying into Tom Thibodeau's system as much as last year. I don't know what it is. But you have a Knicks team who's been the league worst defensively, or at least close to it over their last 5 games, and definitely in the first half as well. And that's kind of where I'm going for this one, because I know the Raptors struggle to score points. They still don't have OG Anunoby, all of that included. But I think that after that Oklahoma City game, where they were up but double figures, I think at halftime, they ended up losing the game by 1. You got to think that they respond with a big opponent and coming here on a Friday night. I don't know much about the ticket sales in Toronto and how much they cost, but I do know that this is a marquee opponent, and I think that this game particularly, I think the Raptors offense can probably score against this Knicks defense. I haven't seen much from New York this season that leads me to believe, other than that small stretch there right at the end, right around, I think it was after Thanksgiving, they looked like they were starting to play better, but then over the last 5, they've just collapsed defensively again. You're getting 105.5 points. I could see one or both of these teams having a 30-point quarter, and that's an easy money over if that happens. New York's already the second best road offensive team in first half so far this season. They're, I think, 114 more than that points per 100 possessions in that spot. So you're telling me only 105.5 points with how bad their defense is too. I'll see if those trends continue here tonight. So I got the over 105.5 official for tonight.
Yeah, I got nothing on this game. The Raptors are a dumpster fire right now, and here's my problem with the Raptors. When the Raptors were a successful team, even before they won the championship, when they had that super long run of always making the playoffs, finishing top 4 in the East, et cetera, that was built on toughness. When you look at their front court, just look at their championship team, look at the front court players they had. Gasol, when he could still play. Big man for the Clippers. I can't remember his name right now for some reason. Serge. You had OG. OG's a kind of a slash guard slash forward, but he's a tweener, right? Pascal Siakam before he forgot to play basketball. It was kind of tough to play against the Raptors. You're playing against grown-ass men that if you come to the basket, they're going to put you on your ass. They're always going to bring a defensive effort led by the Pitbull, Kyle Lowry. There's none of that right now. Their defense sucks. Their front court is soft as hell. And I really honestly believe that it's Knicks or nothing because this is one of the few times where I think RJ Barrett and Julius Randle have a clear advantage over this front court. Ain't nobody on the Raptors slowing down Julius Randle at all. And if RJ Barrett can come through with a good game, I don't really see anybody on the team that's equipped to slow him down either. Yeah, it's just no bueno from the Raptors all around. Gun to my head, it's Knicks or nothing for me, which means it's nothing because I just don't believe in either one of these teams because I think I've said enough negative things about the Knicks all season for people that watch the show to know they're not a bet-on team for me unless the spot is absolutely right. And right now, for me, this is not it. So unless you guys have anything to add, let's get to this next one, which I find pretty interesting because the Hawks are struggling on their home court. And I'm going to keep this over to Jordan this time. But before I do, I just want to say the one thing. I've been saying all season that if the Knicks don't finish in the top half of the league defensively, they won't make the playoffs. You might want to add the Hawks to that list as well, because right now they're 25th in the defensive ranking. And last year when Nate McMillan took over, the reason that they made that leap from, looking like they were going to be in the play-in tournament to making it to the Eastern Conference Final was because they played defense. Their defense under McMillan from the time he took over from Lloyd Pierce was elite. You combine that with their ability to score points, as they got a lot of young players that can get the job done. You have the makings of a team that's on the rise. This team is absolutely not on the rise right now, and it starts with their defense. Until this team can play defense, they're absolutely not a bet-on team. The last time they played the Nets, Kevin Durant scorched them. Now Kevin Durant's coming off basically a DNP because he just took a rest day. I expect a lot of the same. I'm actually pretty interested in some Kevin Durant props, even though I think they're probably inflated because of the fact that he has the rest advantage and the matchup is just not a good one for the Hawks. First of all, nobody can stop Kevin Durant right now. I know Steph Curry gets more of the headlines. But I think that Kevin Durant is the best player in the league. I don't know if he's going to I would give him the MVP over Steph because a lot of people underestimated the Warriors and Steph has them playing the best basketball in the league. But there's no basketball player in the world better than Kevin Durant, in my opinion, right now. That being said, I'm off this, but I kind of, you know what? Fuck that. I'm making this official. You're giving me points with the better team. I'm taking the Nets money line. Official. Screw it.
Sure, I like the boldness with that too, because there's a few things that struck me when I was looking at this. First, I'll start with the total since we've kind of broken down the spread a little bit too much. Like the fact that this has gone up so much is an indictment on the Atlanta defense, right? Because we know the Nets can play defense. That's not been where they have had their issues this season at all. If this total's gone up 4 points, it's because people are absolutely fading the Hawks defense, which is why the line movement of this game kind of surprises me a little bit, baffles me in some instances. Kind of like Junior maybe thinking about taking the points with Brooklyn here or on the money line as well, because this Hawks team is not healthy, not even close. They're missing their two best wing players. They also are going up against a team that's pretty well positioned to guard Trae Young. Yeah, they're not going to stop Trae Young, but my guy Bruce Brown is a dog. Like that guy can play defense on the perimeter. And Trey may be quicker than him, and he may be getting by him, but as long as the Nets shore up that interior defense when Trey gets into the paint, I think that they're going to have a pretty easy time guarding this Hawks team, because there's just not a lot of other guys out on the perimeter for them right now. They can play defense. I know Reddish is back, which is great. Great for this team. Very big boost for them with all the injuries they have. But I mean, they just lost. They Hunter out, Bogdanovich, Solomon Hill just ripped his hamstring apart. Like, ouch, to say the least. I mean, this team has lost a ton of wing depth, and you're going up against the best wing player in the entire league, and Kevin Durant, and who also can play some pretty good defense. Definitely Nets are nothing for me here. I don't have a play either on this game, but at what point, and also in this total, which is where I'll get back to, do we think about the under? Because 230 points is just an immense amount of points in this year in the NBA. I know this game, is probably going to be played pace up for the Hawks, but that's a ton of points for a team that may in fact be not so good offensively or defensively tonight. So I don't know, Jay, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I like the Hawks in this one, man. Nice little revenge spot. I don't see how you can bet the Nets right now. I mean, I know the Nets been winning games. They haven't been covering spreads, been winning against lesser opponents. When they face a top-tier team, they lose to them. I know they came back versus the Mavs. Mavs aren't a top-tier team, and even there, I mean, the Mavs are trash, right? They got up 18 versus this same Nets squad. This team lost to the Rockets. I know the Rockets are hot right now. This is 3 games in 4 nights all on the road. KD is rested. He's the best player in the league. But the rest of the team is not good, if you ask me, including Harden. I think this Nets squad is pretty. You look at them and the Lakers, they're the worst 2 covering teams in the league, my guys. It's just the Nets, for me, covering the spread. I'd stay away from this one. It's Hawks or nothing. I actually like the Hawks in this one, -1.5. You guys made some good points. They have some injuries right now, but this Nets team is just not. They're not what we think they are, and the coaching is very bad, if you ask me. I think that McMillan could run circles around them. Friday night at the house, give me the Hawks -1.5.
Yeah, so is that official, by the way, Jay?
It's official play, my guy.
So me and Jay are going head-to-head, which happens. It's got to happen from time to time. If it never happened, this shit wouldn't be real, would it? Me personally, not to get back into this game, the Hawks
2-7 against the spread last 9.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. The Hawks are pretenders, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, though. So, with that said, let's get to this last game. Celtics versus Suns. I'll kick it to Jay this time. Jay, you got anything for us? Any looks on this game?
Yeah, Suns are nothing for me here. Major rest advantage. Obviously, the Celtics been on the West Coast for a while. I think they've only won two of these games. One of these games. This is the 5th game of a 5-game West Coast road trip. The guys could be ready to go to the house. I'm looking at the matchups. They actually can match up with the Suns here, but simply put, with the rest advantage, as much rest advantage the Suns have, as Suns are nothing for me. That's the only way I'd be looking at this game.
Yeah, this is another one where both teams missing like one of their best players. If not, Suns probably their best player. But yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of Suns or nothing here. The Celtics have not shown me much other than when they play a marquee. They can beat the Lakers, but this is the Suns, and still obviously without Devin Booker, so cannot be discounted. But as we touch on in this show a lot, that's already baked in. And the Suns' ability to replace Devin Booker on a night-to-night basis before he is back is a lot easier for them to do than it is for the Celtics to replace Jaylen Brown. So I think if you look at it that way, you look at, like Jay mentioned, they're at home, they're rested, they're going up against a team that struggles offensively a lot, and also is going up against one of the league's better defenses. I was actually kind of leaning towards the first half more so in this one, just because the Suns have kind of played that style of basketball this year where they've increased their pace, but their defense has still been very good. So they kind of try to choke teams out in the first half and then slow the pace down in the second half. So I don't think the Celtics are also very comfortable playing in that pace either. So the Suns, what are they? Only -160, -165 in the first half money line. Still, I think a little bit of value, but right now just a lean for me. I haven't jumped on it official yet.
The only thing I can say about this game is this. It's not an official play for me, but it probably will be before the end of this day, especially while it's under 6. I don't know if it's still under 6. I don't have the lineup in front of me right now. You want to talk about teams that I think are pretenders? Throw the Celtics in that ring. Again, when you watch them play, this is how I look at certain things, right? Look who's taking shots when. First of all, gotta show some respect to Dennis Schroeder. He's probably playing better this year than he was last year. If it wasn't for Dennis Schroeder, they would really be struggling without Jaylen Brown. So the Celtics actually people want to make fun of Schroeder's contract situation, but the Celtics are the winners in that situation because they got a very quality player on the super cheap. I think the Celtics are about to go on a pretty bad run that started with the loss to the shitty Lakers by 15. They lost to the Clippers. They play the Suns tonight. Then they play the Bucks, and then they play the Warriors after that. Good luck with that. I think that the Suns actually cover this spread. The Suns haven't played since Monday. So that actually worries me for most teams because when teams have extended rest periods, they can come out looking pretty lethargic, especially in to start games. But this Suns team is so professional. Yo, Michael Bridges is legitimately, in my opinion, a defensive player of the year candidate. I know that like people made a lot of noise about him kind of shutting down Steph, even though I agree with Jay's take. Steph kind of like almost threw that game. But Michael Bridges has been putting the clamps down on a lot of guys. So Jason Tatum, while he can't be stopped, I still think his shot selection is one of the poorest in the NBA. And I think that Michael Bridges is going to make his ass work. And then so now you're relying on Dennis Schroeder and Marcus Smart. Give me the Suns here to cover the spread at home. Huge rest advantage with the Celtics about to go on I'm not going to say an extended losing streak, but it's going to be rough sailing for the Celtics moving forward. Unless you guys have anything else to add to this, let's bring in our officials. I'll kick it over to you, Jordan. What you got for us?
Yep, official wrote it up for the website, so check it out there if you want to read more. Over 105.5 first half, Knicks and Raptors. I think we see a little offense tonight in that first half of that one.
Gotcha. I'm riding the Hawks tonight, man. Revenge spot. I'm riding with the better team at the house right now. Give me the Hawks -1.5.
I got Mavs Pacers over 212.5. I think that number's a bit short. If it was in Dallas, I'd probably be going the other way. But in Indiana, the Pacers are just a different team at home. They do this for their coach, Mr. Carlisle, even though it's really not a revenge game spot at all. I just think that this number is just way too short. I think the accurate total is probably something closer to like 216. And I already said that Nets money line official. I ain't backing down from that. My guy KD has one of the worst haircuts in the league. Don't worry about it, KD. They got you. Atlanta has a barbershop right upstairs. I don't got no hair, so I ain't never been inside it, but I walk by it. It looks dope. Go get you a fresh fade. But burn these guys up and catch me a ticket. I hate to go against my guy Jay, but I don't believe in these Hawks at all. Thank you guys for joining us this week. We are not here on the weekend, but we will be back Monday, 12:30 Eastern. Whatever time that is for you, wherever you're at, please make sure you join us. Don't forget to like. Don't be greedy, so don't forget to share. And please subscribe so you don't miss our show, all the other shows on BMR. Make sure you check out the BMR website as well for all the articles, as Jordan mentioned. And don't forget to check out my guy, Jay Money, who's always giving y'all free content on Twitter. He does multiple shows a day, weekends, whatever you want. Jay's got you. Show my guy some love, please. My name is Junior Browne. That's Jordan Sharp. That's Jay Money. See y'all on Monday. Please be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend.